One. What's going on, everybody? It is segment number 2 with Mike from One Rental at a Time. Mike, this is a big one. How's it going?
Oh, I look forward to it. It's going great.
Yeah. So as we all know, I just purchased a 12-unit building.
Yay!
Yay! Well, it was yay last week. Now I'm fixing a bunch of crap.
Oh, no.
But I thought nothing better than for other people to learn from my lesson. This is why we do this, because we certainly, I don't know that it's a mistake, but that's where I wanted to kind of talk to you about it is when you've bought, some of these bigger buildings, 12, 15, 18, 20 units, even 10. I believe the practice is that you don't get access to all the units.
Yeah, I think this is again reality versus theory, right?
Sure.
All the people talking about this or that, they always talk about getting in every unit, blah blah blah. It's just not it's not practical for me, because again, remember, my market's 2.5 hours away.
Right.
I honestly believe real life happens. So sure, the landlord posted notice, but this or that, or the tenants keys don't. I mean, there's all kinds of reality or excuses, lies. I mean, it's somewhere in there. But I've never gotten any building more than 10 units. I've never gotten into everyone, even though I've been promised every time you'll get into everyone. So I have to make calculated choices. So I've been there.
So I think, so what we found is that we literally got a message. So we do our letter, right? Introducing ourselves. This is where you send rent. Let us know of any issues that you have. And we don't say, tell us every issue you have, because quite frankly, that's ridiculous. And people just get picky and they think I'm going to remodel each unit. It's not going to happen. But we talk to them about maintenance issues. So we say, is there a toilet that's constantly running? Is there a sink that leaks? Is there kind of 5 or 6 things that are extremely expensive for us in the long term, so that we want to address them up front and be good landlords?
Cool.
We knew that we were taking over a building that needed some maintenance. What we didn't know was that units literally had windows that don't shut. Don't shut. And that's kind of a problem in New England in the winter. But even
that's health and safety.
Right. And there's panes missing out of the windows.
Oh, joy.
Panes. Like the window pane, like a 6-box window pane.
Yeah.
One of the window panes is missing. And this is on multiple windows in a given unit.
Huh.
So I had the conversation with the tenant and I said, well, when did you move in? She said June of May of this year. I said, okay. And I just said, I got to ask, when you moved in, were the panes missing then?
Yeah.
She's like, yes. Then why did you move in?
Yeah.
So the only thing that I can think of to do is reach back out to my broker and say, I know, because one of the cool things about this deal was she had managed the building.
Okay.
So I actually asked her and I said, do you have their move-in report?
Yeah.
I want to see their move-in report. Now I'm still waiting on the move-in report, because I can't believe anybody would move into a unit that's missing window panes.
Well, unfortunately, it'd be a lot more common than you would expect.
Crazy, right? Because for me, I don't own a ton of big buildings. I own a ton of duplexes and quads, tris and quads. So as far as units or buildings bigger than 6, I think I own 3 or so. And so with those, I kind of have a level of control over them. I kind of know everything that's going on there. But with this newest acquisition, this is something that totally blew my mind. I actually, what I've told everybody is that I've now talked to every single tenant but one in the building. A little bit scared about that one I haven't talked to.
You should be.
Yes, I know, right? So I will give an update next week of if I got their rent, right? Because all of a sudden they're not talking to me.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting though is that every single one of those tenants has an email of things that they sent to the previous landlord in the last 90 days or in the last 120 days that landlord did not do. Life, right?
Yeah. Here's the deal, right? Sometimes landlords, right, in this game, they want to always talk about bad tenants. I got to tell you, there are some bad landlords.
They're really bad.
There are landlords doing things that, I've often said there's a special place in hell for slumlords.
Right.
I think as the landlord, you owe the tenants a safe and secure place. And when in doubt, you're wrong.
Right.
That's how I feel. Yep. Right. If there's even a question, I assume the landlord's, at fault, but on the hook, right, for the this or that expense.
Totally agree.
Not all landlords believe that. A lot of landlords believe that there's even a hint of a question, it's on the tenant. And they act accordingly. And I think that's bad.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with you.
I think
I
there's
think
some pretty
what's
bad
I think what's really interesting about this is that we'll probably spend about $10,000 in maintenance issues.
What
It's
were you
fine.
planning to spend?
I mean, as far as real maintenance stuff,
Yeah.
not a whole lot, because the 5 or 6 units that we looked at were pretty good.
Okay. So this is an extra 10 grand that, yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, so for us, so here's the thing, the reason I bring it up, for us, we basically count on whatever number of units.
Mhm.
We figure it's $1,000 worth of bullshit. We figure it's about $1,000 a unit of bullshit that we're going to have to take care of, do, fix, a lot of
Yeah. Yeah. So something I've done that's a little different than that is, because again, we've owned, I don't know, a dozen or so buildings bigger than that. And what I've now come to do is I find the worst unit that I got into.
Yep.
And I double it for every unit I haven't gotten into.
Okay.
That's what I do. And again, so far that's worked.
Interesting.
Right. Because again, they're all basically the same. They've all been there
Right.
basically the same time. And again, I have to, if one thing I won't do though, is if it's a vacant unit and I can't get in, that's a red flag.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a major.
No, I'll break the door down if I have to get inside. Right. But if it's livable and there's provable rent, I assume it's 2x worse than anything I've seen. That has been a lifesaver for me.
Yeah, I'll literally just tell the broker, turn your back. I gotta drill something right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I won't buy a building with a vacant unit that I can't see, because you just fire, floods. I mean, it could be ugly.
I can drill out a deadbolt and a door handle in less than 2 minutes. So
there you go.
Yeah. And it's like you said, if it's vacant and you can't get in, Houston, you have a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will gladly go to Home Depot, buy a new lock, but I'm getting in that building. I'm getting in that unit.
Yep. Here's your new lock installed. It's an even nicer one than you had.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good.
Here's your keys.
Here's your keys.
Yeah.
At least I know. Right?
Yeah. Got to get in there. So I think the lesson here for everybody, when they start to grow their business, when they start to look at these larger units, it's not an instant red flag that you can't get access to every single unit. That's
life happens. Yeah. And again, my 2X formula has saved me every time. I can only remember since I adopted that. It's been okay every time. Because again, as long as people are living there, they're generally the same. And here's the other thing. Every unit has been worse than because again, the owner, I always assume the sellers are liars.
Agreed.
That's just what I assume.
It's sad, but true.
They're selling this for a reason. Right. And I just assumed that going in.
I found out why he sold. I mean, he sold literally every tenant in that building. I've talked to 11 of the 12, all hated him.
It's just,
they were like, he never did anything. He never fixed anything. I was like, well, I gathered that by your email.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, because these are all things that should be fixed.
But here's the crazy thing. So far, the worst unit, we're going to be probably $600 into it. It's
in the big scheme of thing.
In the grand scheme, it's nothing. But here's the thing: it only would have cost this landlord a few $1,000 in his entire building to have all of his tenants elated that they live there, as opposed to 4 months of lists of stupid stuff. Like he fixed a leak in a bathroom and it had a couple of those nicer drop ceiling tiles.
Yeah,
all in. The guy to do it, picking them up, picking them out, the whole 9 yards. It was like $110 it cost me. And you didn't do that for your tenant. Why? Like, don't be a bad landlord. If you're watching Mike and me, don't be a bad landlord. Just don't. Fix stuff when it comes up. Fix stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's more expensive to have that tenant leave than it is to keep them there for 5 years, right? How much more expensive is it?
Oh, it's people act like it. You know, I'm going to raise rent. No, unit turns is every time I've had a losing year, it's because it turns.
Interesting. Yeah, in a building.
Yeah, in a building. Yeah, when you look at your financial statement by building is what I do.
Yep.
When there's a bad year, it's like, damn, we had 7 turns. You know, that's not good.
Yeah, and guys, again, it's something that it's critical. You treat the tenant like you would want to be treated.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty
or how you want your mom treated. How about that?
Yeah, that's true, because I can live with more than my mother could. Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. So treat them, they're a person, number one. Number two, they are your customer.
Yeah, they're
They're your
paying you.
customer.
Yeah,
Take
they're
care
helping
of
you.
them.
Yes.
Yes. And then thirdly is recognize that you need to have some sort of a formula for safety money when you're buying a larger building that you're not getting into all the units. You're going to need some money set aside. It is a red flag if it's an empty unit and you can't get
Absolutely.
access.
Yeah.
But even if it's a unit that has somebody in it, likely there's going to be things that are there. And a lot of people thought I was stupid for putting a letter on everyone's door saying, hey, if you have any of these 5 issues, please let us know. Also, if you have a couple of other issues, but limited to 2, let us know what those items are.
Mhm.
People thought I was stupid for doing that. I don't think so. Now I've
No.
got half that building in love with me.
Yeah, it was a great thing to be posting them. Yeah, no, it was a genius thing. You're building bridges. Even if they
Yes.
love the last landlord, because one or two, there's only 3 outcomes. They hated him, they loved him, or they didn't even know who he was.
Right.
You're fixing that. You're being proactive. You're building a bridge. And oh, by the way, you're learning as well. So it's a genius move. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. It's much more for everyone else's education because again, walked in, I see windows with panes missing, little bit mortified, more than a little bit mortified.
Yeah, you got to fix that quick.
Yeah. Well, so we literally found that we found that last night and we actually went and took measurement today and we'll have pieces in place on Monday.
Perfect.
And I just said, functionally, we're going to get them functional. We're going to get them so they work, but we're actually upgrading the entire building, all 84 windows.
Nice.
We're upgrading the entire building. So I said, we're not going to spend a bunch of money fixing these. We're going to make them livable and usable, but they're not going to look pretty. But it's because they're going to look really pretty in the springtime when we redo this entire building. By the way, quick side note, I talked to a vendor and they said 84 windows, right? If you average $300 a window, real quick math, and that's just on the windows themselves. That's not any of the work to put them in. It's just the window itself.
Mhm.
So we're talking about a $25,000 to $26,000 window order.
Yep.
30 weeks.
30 weeks. So you're ordering
30.
now.
30 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not ordering from them.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
that.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
way. No
Well,
way.
you want
I
them in the spring.
I literally said to her, and she said, yeah, when I first asked her, she said, we can probably get these done, probably in the May timeframe. I was like, May, what? It's
Did you say-
October.
Yeah. May?
And she goes, yeah, May. I was like, no, I know the month. I'm familiar with the month. I know where it lands on the calendar. That's why I'm saying it's October. And she's like, yeah, it's just not going to happen any faster. I can help you. It's going to happen faster. It's just not going to be with you.
Yeah, that's nuts.
30 weeks, Mike. 30 weeks.
That's a half a year. Damn.
Yeah, it's more, but
Yeah.
who's counting?
Yeah.
It's a month more than a half. But yeah,
Good point.
it's crazy. But Mike, where can
Okay.
everybody find you, my friend?
One rental at a time.
All right. If you can't find that in your Google search bar, I don't know what to do for you. I really don't. It's a loss for you.
Yeah.
But as I say, we always put a lot of time and thought into putting these topics together. Also making sure to air my embarrassment and my shortcomings as a landlord. We always like to do that for others so they cannot be as closed-eyed as I was in this particular process.
You
So
did fine.
11:30 a.m. Eastern time, webcast, live stream, come with your questions. We'll certainly be there with answers. And Mike, looking forward to segment number 3, my friend.
Yeah, here you go. Thank you.
Take it.